Hello everyone, welcome back. I love owls. So we're going to do a watercolor owl because I haven't done one yet. And my owls are very popular on my channel. I think lots of people like owls. So I made a boo-boo and I forgot to hit record for the very first part of my video. So this part I had to redo. So what you see me doing here is just a stone covering the top part of it black, and then using a sponge to get rid of all the paint strokes. And now that the paint is dry, I'm going to make a face. I'm using a sponge with gold paint to find my eyes, to make them circular, and I'm just going to let that gold paint dry and we'll work with that later. But I needed my eyes there so that I could do everything else that I need to do. Those eyes just needed to be there. So I'm doing kind of like flower petals around the eyes. Those are going to stay black, but with pinstripes. Everything else is going to be outlined in gold. Everything that you see here, I'm doing 4 or 5 feathers. But there's going to be 2 layers of feathers. So you're going to see me outline all of this with gold, and then you'll be able to see it a lot better. And I'm first going to outline it, but then I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to wait for that gold to dry, and then I'm going to clean it up with black and get rid of any pencil that I don't want to see anymore. Anything that I don't want to keep will be fixed. And then once all of that cleanup is done, we add color. Now you don't have to use watercolor paints. I'm going to be using a mixture of my own handmade watercolor paint as well as Iuilewatercolour from Iuilewatercolours on Etsy. The link to that Etsy shop is going to be in the description below, as well as a link to my Etsy shop where I will be posting a couple of these beautiful owls for everyone. And I do post handmade watercolor buttons sometimes once a week if I have the time to make some, and I don't have the opportunity to make a large amount. So if it goes in, I'll let you know, and if you make it and buy some, let me know what you think of them. I'm getting better and better every time I make my watercolor buttons. So right now you can see I'm just doing cleanup, and that's going to be something that takes a little while, but it's worth it. It ends up looking a lot cleaner if we thin out some of the thick areas and fix some of our mistakes. It will always look, crisp, and that's how I like it. I like to clean it up, make it crisp, and then fill it with color. I do the same thing when I'm dotting something. So if you don't want to use watercolors, you don't have to. You've probably seen my colorful owls before. So you can do what you want to do with it. Once you've got it all cleaned up, you can dot it. You can just paint it with a regular paintbrush. You can use watercolors. You can use foils. You can do whatever you want. I just want to apologize if you guys can hear any banging or anything like that. Someone is shoveling outside because, yes, I live in Northern Ontario. I will actually post some pictures of what my area looks like before I do the resin reveal, because I don't really have time to show you stuff at my desk. I really wanted to get this tutorial up early enough for people to see it today and not wait till tomorrow. So I'll just show you some pictures of my lovely weather here, and you can send me well wishes. So I'm still cleaning it up. You can still see some pencil here and there, but I'm going to make sure I get rid of all of that and make sure that I didn't erase any gold that I was supposed to keep there, because you do want all of those lines to be visible. You want to see every little part properly. You don't want to skip out anywhere. So yeah, this is the longest part of it, I think, is doing the cleanup. Once you figure out whether you like your owl face or not, or the eyes or the beak, or the toes. I did do some little toes at the bottom. They're just kind of like, I'll call them soft diamonds because they're not pointy diamonds. diamond shaped. They're soft diamonds. That's what their toes are. And I did like a larger toe in the center, and then two on the outside are a little bit smaller, not by much. But that's his toes. That's as if he was curled around a little branch. So that's his toes there. I think it's pretty much clean, ready to go, and make sure you let it dry before you start adding watercolor. You don't want to mix watercolor into the black paint because that will really take away from the effect of it all. So I've slowed it down a little bit here. If you want to pause it right here or take a screenshot so that you can look at this before you start adding paint, just to refer back to that while you're sketching it on with pencil, by all means, you can pause it and I will be right back here when you're ready. So I'm using one of my own handmade colors here. It's like a glittery purple, but you can still really see there's going to be a color shift to it, so it'll kind of look blue in certain lights. It's hard to explain some of my watercolors. I've been doing a lot of experimenting. But this one, I don't want it to be too bold. I want it to glitter a little bit, but we're going to be working with that later on with some dots. So I didn't want it to be too bright. And I'm also going to be doing the top part of the head with that as well. Now I'm doing the RC palette. I'm going to use the RC palette from Iuilewatercolours on Etsy. And I'm going to just do random. I'll do the same to each side. I'll keep it that way, but I'm just going to pick random colors for my feathers. But I'm doing one like goldish colored, then I'll switch to maybe green, blue, purple, pink, red. I'm just going to go through the entire thing. You do whatever you want. You probably, if you've purchased any of my paint buttons, you have a couple of colors to work with. Just be random with it. I'm keeping both sides similar. So if I paint this side green, I'm going to paint this side green. But you don't have to. You can be completely random, do all the feathers different colors. Just don't use too much water. You'll learn quickly what using too much water will do. It will start to lift up your black paint underneath. And black paint underneath this stuff is a must, because it really makes the color stand out. It really makes the effects of all the different kinds of watercolor that I'm using. Some of my handmade stuff has like a different sheen to it. Some of it is color shift, so it looks orange in one light and then looks red or pink in another light. So you'll see all these different types of watercolor, and each one has its own effect. One's more glittery than the other, but you'll find that you need a little bit more water for certain ones to move it around and spread it around, but just don't use too much. A little at first, and you'll get used to it. And to activate the watercolor buttons from my shop, you just need a little bit of water. And I try to use distilled water. It keeps it from I guess going bad. Distilled water keeps it clean and doesn't wreck my little paint palette. So I'm just doing random colors. You do what you want. You can do pinstripes. You can just do it black. You can do Zentangle designs all inside there. You can dot it, foil it, do what you want. Even if you like to just play around with nail polish, you could do that too. Although nail polish doesn't seal very easily, it does wrinkle up and takes a long time to dry, and it smells really bad. But you use what you want. You can even draw this with crayons and color it in yourself. So you don't have to use what I'm using, but I will list what I'm using in the description of the video so that you can use it too if you want. I am looking forward to Monday. The kids are going back to school. One of my sons, my 7-year-old, has been home for 5 weeks as of Friday because he was sick with a cold the week before Christmas holidays, and he's been home ever since. I'm using some different dot cards from Iuilewatercolour on Etsy. This one is really cool. It's so pretty. It's from the Retro series. The colors from the Retro series are so beautiful. I definitely recommend that dot card. So for these dot cards, a little goes a long way. I've been using this dot card for quite some time now, and I really made a lot of rocks using just this little palette of paint buttons. So if you are purchasing paint buttons in my shop, a little goes a long way. You're going to get 10 colors, 12 colors, 6 colors, whatever ones you're deciding to buy. You can paint a lot of rocks and use my tutorials to do that. With just one set of paint buttons, you can do a lot of rocks. So keep that in mind. A little goes a long way. So I'm going back to this purplish blue kind of, it's just kind of like mild. It's not really bold. It's kind of glittery, but it has a nice background effect. So I'm doing that the same as the front chest there between the feathers. Now it's hard to see all the feathers. We are going to separate them all using black paint. I've got my petals. I'm keeping those black, but I am going to pinstripe them around the eyes. And we're going to put some color in the eyes too very, very soon. So back to kids are going back to school Monday. So you guys might actually get some more tutorials soon. And I'm looking forward to that. You guys are my fun time. So I am now pinstriping, and you can always fix it if you don't like it. And I'm going to be letting these pinstripes dry because I do have to fix a couple. The gold came out too thick in certain areas. So I'm going to let those dry, and then I'm going to add more in between those ones. So if you don't see me do that throughout the video, I am going to be adding more pinstripes to the petals. So there's only 3 pinstripes per petal right now. There's going to be 6. And it's just finer pinstripes. They're just closer together. But in order for me to do that, I had to fix some of the blobs of gold and then let it dry. So you might not see me do all of them. So definitely outlining everything. I know we outlined it with gold already, but it will make a big difference to separate everything with a black outline as well. Don't lose your gold though. Keep your gold, but outline the outline of gold. How about that? So I'm adding a bluish green. It kind of color shifts as well. It's that retro card series. They're unpredictable colors, I'll tell you that. You think you're looking at one color, and then 2 minutes later you look at it under a different light and it's completely different, and it throws you for a loop. Very fascinating paint colors. So now I'm going to outline everything. My petals, my beak. I'm going to be adding 2 little nostril holes to the beak. Outline everything. That's all you got to do. That's, tedious, but it'll make a really big difference. And even right now, what you're seeing right now is going to look extremely different once it's sealed. Like right now, it just looks like it's kind of dull, flat glitter. Looks pretty. It looks colorful. But wait till you see it. I'm sure you've already seen it in the thumbnail. I wish I could do like a surprise thumbnail where you don't get to see it until the very end. But then you wouldn't be attracted to it. So I always put the thumbnail. But just know when you see it, it's going to make your jaw drop. So stay tuned till the end of the video. So I am just making sure I didn't lose any of my gold now that I've outlined my feathers in black. Very, very easy. There's not too much here to do. It's like you draw a picture to color. You get the drawing just the way you want it, which is the black and gold. Then you let that dry. Then you fill it with color, whatever colors you want. So if you want a green beak, you do a green beak. You want a blue chest, you do a blue chest. You do whatever you want here. So I'm just inspiring you once again. That's my job. Don't forget to hit the like button, you guys. It really does help the algorithm so that more people can see these free tutorials that don't cost them anything. And it doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button either, or share. It doesn't cost anything. It just helps me. It doesn't actually pay me anything to hit the like button. It just helps people see my video more. So I get more people get to be a part of Rachel's Rocks. So I am using a nice fiery orange, which changes color in the light. And I'm just filling this in at the lower part. I did like a crescent moon kind of thing, a thick crescent moon. But now I'm taking a sponge, a round finger sponge, and I'm just sponging black paint right there at the top. Now you can still see a little bit of that orange metallic underneath the black at the bottom, but it's going to look really pretty. So I promise. Now I'm going to just outline so that there's a separation between the orange paint and the gold circle that it's outlining. So I'm separating those two. Just one last black outline. Oh, this looks so cute. I love owls so much. That was a tattoo, one of my first really big tattoos on my entire shoulder. My entire left shoulder is beautiful. It's got some beautiful flowers and everything. I just love owls. Love them. I don't ever see them, but I do love them. I went to a zoo and I saw one and I was fascinated. I couldn't leave. I just sat there staring for so long. It turned its head all the way around and looked at me. But yeah, I love owls. So I've done a few of them on my channel, and I will list a couple of them in the description of the video if you haven't seen my other owl tutorials. Now, someone's asked me how you fix mistakes on watercolor. So if you have used a black background to start with, all you have to do is put black background again. So for instance, I made a mistake with the dots on the chest. And you might have seen me kind of go over it with some black paint. I just waiting for that black paint to dry. And then I'm going to go back in with that same color of watercolor that I used for the chest. And I'm just going to lightly go over that spot once the black paint is dry, and then it's like brand new. Then you can dot back over it again. So as long as you use a black background, you fix your mistakes using black paint. And then as long as you remember what paint color you used there, what watercolor you used in that exact spot, you can go back in and blend it in nicely. So just make sure your black paint is dry. You can still see the black paint on the chest there a little bit where I'm about to fix it. So I made a mistake. We all do. I make lots of them. But you can fix them pretty easily on top of watercolor as long as you're starting off with that black paint underneath. So I guess you guys have seen me do the shine, the eye shine. Really easy. Just do a couple bloops here and there of white to make his eyes look a little bit more shiny. I've given him 2 nostrils. And I'm just making sure that everything is outlined properly. And then he's going to be resined really soon. And I'm going to be really impatient, and I'm going to show him to you while he's still wet, because I really just wanted to get this one out for you guys as soon as possible. I miss you. The scarab one that I put up is doing really, really well. It's already over 11,000 views in 5 days or so, so I'm proud of that. And here I go. I'm pinstriping things again, like I said I was going to do. See? I wasn't lying. I always tell you what I'm going to do. So you're going to see at the end there's a couple extra owls. One of them I used all just my own watercolors that I've made so far. And the other 2 are Iuilewatercolour and my watercolors mixed together. I want to know what you guys think of it. Make sure you leave some ideas in the description for me. I'm thinking about doing monthly birthday flowers. So whatever your flower of the month is, you'll be able to paint it with me every month. So that's part of my plan in 2022. Let me know if you have any that you want me to do. and I will do my best. But leave a comment and hit the like button and come paint with me. Make sure if you are not receiving notifications of my videos, you can try unsubscribing and then resubscribing and then hitting the little bell and clicking all on the little bell. Just try doing that, redoing it all. Sometimes it helps to restart things fresh, and then you'll probably get notifications again. I hope. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. So let me know what you guys think of this one. Is it too challenging? Is it too much glitter? Too much gold? Let me know, guys. I'm going to go resin this real quick and bring it back to show you. Well, I promised you I'd show you my weather, so I'll show you this bad stuff. This was a couple days ago. This was yesterday, I believe. It was pink and purple outside. I could not understand why. Yes, that's real snow. This is where I live. I don't know why I live where there's this much snow, but hey, there are good things about it, like fires in the snow, bonfires. I love bonfires. And if it's not too cold, being in the snow is actually not too bad. But yeah, that's what we're going through, a lot of snow. Now, let's put each other in a better mood. The shine on my camera, I'm really sorry, you guys. It doesn't even know where to focus. It's like the diamonds in the background, the glass, the owl, the eyes. I don't even know. It's so shiny and beautiful. And I can't wait for someone to see this in person. It's just gorgeous. There's so much dimension in each and every single color of watercolor that I've used. Here's another one. This one was done with all of my own handmade metallics and chromes and all of that. All of my own in that one. And I do have a little gaffer. Just a teeny guy. This one was made with my own as well as Iuilewatercolours. So each one is different in its own little way. All different colors, but still so pretty. Look at them. They're just gorgeous. Little family. Each one, you can do this on different sizes of rocks, different shapes of rocks. It's totally up to you. I've had a lot of fun making these, so I'll probably make more. Let me know what you think, guys. Are you in love? Do they sparkle too much for you? Is it overkill? Please let me know. And make sure that you always keep painting. That's the most important thing. I will be back soon. I love you guys. Bye.